Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, so, big question is, are we at war with Iran right now? Everyone's talking about this, and of course, it's going to be the big topic on the program this morning. And now that we have proof and confirmation that Iran was a week away from having their first nuclear weapon, 3 weeks away from having 10, because the president told us and released that information yesterday, we're in a whole new place. So we're going to cover this. You're going to get a little sneak preview of what I'll be doing on the live stream at 6 a.m. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, so this is a very important point for people to understand, okay? And by the way, I did see the Ted Cruz, Tucker Carlson video, which I will be playing this morning. And Tucker Carlson could very well be on his way to being pushed out of the MAGA world. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you. He could be really on his way out if he's challenging Trump. While we don't have boots on the ground, we're very much involved. And Ted Cruz, he looks like he may have slipped up big time and possibly let out some classified intel, which we'll get to that later. But I want to talk about the war in general. Okay, now I'm heading out on the road out of my development, so dark MAGA mode engaged. And bear with me a little bit. I'm in a rental car, and this rental car I just don't like. Oh my goodness. My car is at the dealer. I had a recall on my car. It's at the dealer, and they gave me a rental car. It's not the kind of car I own, but it's a 2025, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But I took it today. I should have taken my old car. It's just I don't like it. I didn't realize how much I love my car until I got this crappy rental. And it's a 20. They had a whole bunch of rentals. This was the newest. This was the newest one. It's a Hyundai Elantra, and it's very weird. It's just a strange car. But anyway, back to Iran. Okay, there's a big misconception going on out there. Big misconception that America first means no new wars. It means we don't support allies, and that is such a really uninformed position. And some of it, there's several reasons why people that are MAGA, that have voices, are taking that position. Some just don't have enough perspective on the situation. Some hate Jews, okay, and don't want us helping Israel because they hate Jews. And others are just complete isolationist, which I get. That's, out of the three, that's the best, complete isolationist. But there's a couple things about Iran that are important, okay? This war with Iran did not begin when Israel launched those airstrikes last week, all right? It didn't. I know that most people will say that's when the war began, but that's not when the war began. The war with Iran began in 1979 when they took our embassy. And if you're old enough like I am to remember it, it was bad, man. It was because of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter screwed up everything with the Shah, screwed up everything with Iran, screwed up everything with the Ayatollah. And then the idiot that Jimmy Carter was as president the Marines guarding and protecting the U.S. Embassy, he would not allow them to have ammunition for their weapons. So the Marines were there, outnumbered by God knows how many when the embassy was attacked. They had guns but no bullets. And when they had those 51 American hostages, even though I was a little kid, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was on the news 24/7. We only had 3 channels back then, you know, and we did all kinds of things. I remember we would put candles in the windows for the hostages, and any of you guys remember that? It was a big deal. Now, since then, since 1979, we've also been in a constant state of war with Iran, undeclared and everything, of course, and you know, unofficial, but Iran has been funding, organizing, supporting, and is behind 99% of the Islamic terrorism in the world, not just attacks on Israel, but the attacks globally. And then, more recently, they have been involved in multiple assassination attempts against President Trump. And I'm not talking about Netanyahu referencing it the other day. I posted on my X account, Brian Craig Show on X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. I posted on X this morning 3, 4 stories, maybe 5, but you know, at least 3 or 4, about the Iranian hit squads and Iranian assassination attempts on our president. They're all and I put them up there from liberal sources, CNN, NPR, Politico, and another bunch of liberal jerks, because I want the liberals to see their own people were saying this. So the Iranians have had multiple attempts on President Trump's life. This has been well reported. They have these Iranian hit squads going on. So for MAGA people that are saying this, it's America first and it's not our war, I would say that Iran attempting multiple times to assassinate President Trump. This was going on during the campaign last year, and having assassin squads after him, which is something they plan on doing forever. How is it not America first to take out the people that are trying to take out our great President Trump? That sounds pretty America first to me. Now, Israel, by the way, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Now, Israel made a mistake so far as PR here in the United States, all right? I referenced this on the morning show yesterday, but I want to talk about it in a little more detail now. Yeah, this rental car, let me show you just this rental car, okay? This is a Hyundai Elantra rental car. I don't know, what the hell is this about? They got between the driver and passenger seat, they have this plastic bar with a grip on it. I don't know. I know it looks kind of cool when you look at the dashboard, but the way I sit in the car, it's just not comfortable, and it just feels cheap, to tell you the truth. It feels cheap, I guess is what it is. Okay, so anyway, how is it not America first taking out the people that have multiple times tried to assassinate our president, Trump? I don't get that. Now Israel made a major PR mistake, which I'm going to explain to you in a minute, but let me get on the highway here in this rental car. I've had it this will be the 3rd day I've had it. My car has a recall on the brakes, and they're basically replacing the whole brake system on my new car. I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, I hate when car dealers do that. You buy a brand new car and then you get all these recalls. I still get recalls on my Kia that's years old. But they made a big PR, they made a big PR mistake, Israel. Now, and which I'll tell you about as soon as I get on the highway and get merged into traffic. Because one thing this car has, other than this bizarre divider between the driver and the passenger, which I just don't freaking understand, and the cheap feeling of it, the side view mirrors are basically useless. It's a car filled with nothing but blind spots. I mean, you can't even freaking see in this thing. Thankfully, it has the sensors, those collision sensors that light up if you're not supposed to pass, but jeez. There's not much traffic on the road now, so the blind spots aren't that much of a handicap, but I've adjusted the mirrors and the seat, and it's just, I remember Steve Kane, years ago, he got a new car, and he got in 2 accidents in it. And I was like, what's the matter with it? He's like, there's so many blind spots on it. And I said, I called bullshit on that. And he and I had to take a drive to Miami. So I said, well, let's take your car with all your blind spots. And sure as, I couldn't believe it. It was one big blind spot. He's like, I told you. I said, you're right. And this car, while it's not the same kind of car, I've never had a car with blind spots like this. Hopefully I'll get my car back today or tomorrow. All right, anyway, I'm on the highway now. I've merged, and I don't have to change lanes for a long time. I'm heading to the radio station today. Okay, so Israel made a big PR mistake. And you've heard me reference the Tim Pool incident. That's not the mistake. But about 2 weeks ago, Tim Pool couldn't help but brag that he was at a secret meeting of online influencers that Israel had set up, and Netanyahu was there. And he wouldn't say who else was there because it was confidential, but he was one of them. And Netanyahu was trying to sell them on the idea of the war. And then I realized right then they got a PR machine. And it was an interesting thing because in the old days, these PR machines, we would never hear about them because they wouldn't go after influencers. They'd go after the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, but they're going after influencers. And then I started hearing Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro say virtually the same things about the war. Like 2 days ago, if I have time, maybe I'll play this on the air. I might do it on my podcast and explain this again because I think it's important. Like 2 days ago, Ben Shapiro on his podcast said the same thing that Mark Levin posted on X, almost word for word. And it was attacking MAGA people who were opposed to U.S. involvement in this war with Iran. And they both said, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, President Trump's the leader of MAGA, and what he says goes, and if you don't support this, you're not supporting the leader of MAGA. It's a PR, it was a PR machine. Now, I will tell you, I said that I am against intervention unless we get information from the president and the president backs it. Now, we got the intel on their nukes from President Trump yesterday, and also he's backing this. So, dark MAGA mode engaged, guys. I don't have the illumination from my dashboard on this car that I have in my car. The PR mistake that Israel made in this country was making Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin their spokespeople. If they met with Tim Pool and some Instagram influencers or whoever the hell else was there with Tim Pool, I think there's a high, we don't know for sure, but I think there's a high likelihood that they meant with Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro too, especially with them saying virtually the same things about this, almost word for word. And I don't think they understand how unpopular Ben Shapiro is among conservatives. Ben Shapiro is just not liked. The whole Brett Cooper and Candace Owens incidents, but even before that, Ben Shapiro is just not a likable guy. Now, I'm pro-Israel, and I always agree with him on Israel, but I can't stand listening to him. He talks as fast as an auctioneer. He's not likable. His popularity is not organic. It's through millions of dollars in promotion. by his outlet and everything else, and he's just annoying. He's kind of like a pest. I mean, he's just annoying and unlikable. So Israel picking Ben Shapiro to be their front man and PR in this country, big mistake. And then Mark Levin also. I know there's a lot of conservatives who do like Mark Levin. I am not one of them. He is a former never-Trumper. I don't fully trust him not to be a never-Trumper. He's a lifelong Republican establishment guy, and a lot of MAGA people just don't like him or trust him. And he's also annoying the way he talks and everything else. You know, Tucker was talking about that with Bannon the other day. So Israel made a bad PR decision, making Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin their frontmen in this country on it. And also the messaging, you know, like what I was telling you earlier is so true. Their messaging is just off about this. Not that I'm in the messaging, but we don't want to have MAGA infighting, right? We really need to be MAGA united. We got big things to do here with President Trump. And I don't have a lot of tolerance for people who say they're MAGA and then don't back up President Trump. I believe President Trump deserves, if you're MAGA, he deserves your 100% support on whatever he does. And you always find with President Trump, you know, people say, oh, he's wrong about this, he's wrong about that. He's never wrong. He's always proven right in the end on whatever the controversy is. But this argument against America first is what I told you. Iran has attempted to assassinate President Trump multiple times. They still have Iranian hit squads in this country after him. They were trying to do it throughout the entire campaign. And how is it not America first to go after the people that are trying to kill our great President Trump? And I don't hear Mark Levin or Ben Shapiro talking about that. And, you know, a lot of people, and I'm going to cover all this on the morning show today at 6, so make sure you subscribe, guys. And on the next stream, I'll be taking live calls, if I get there in this rental car. I mean, you know, I'm driving one big blind spot, so who the hell knows. But I must say, it drives well on the highway. It does drive very well. It's similar to my daughter's car. My daughter has a Kia. You know, Hyundai and Kia, the same company. But I just do not. And part of it is they gave me a rental car with the wheels out of alignment, which is no fun. I'm not even going to bother to tell them when I turn it in. You think they'll get the wheels aligned when I turn the car in? I don't think so. I mean, how can the wheels be out of alignment on a 2025 with 16,000 miles on it? I don't get it. This is the first time I have rented a car in well, I didn't have to pay for it. The dealer gave it to me. They were out of loaners. Of course, they're always out of. Well, no, the last time I had to take my car in, they gave me a loaner, and it was from the dealer, and the car smelled so bad. And I told the guy, I said, that last loaner just smelled so bad. It was the worst BO in it I've ever smelled. And they were out of loaners, and they gave me a rental car, and they gave me 7 or 8 cars to choose from. And this one was the newest one, so I picked it, and ugh, it sucks. So anyway, I mean, you know, Trump is right about everything he's talking about with Iran. You know, people keep saying to me, well, they ask these questions. When has regime change worked? It's worked a lot in recent years. And I'll give you a couple of recent examples. I'm not going to go back in time. Okay? I'm going to give you three recent examples, and a lot of people will deny this. Iraq, Libya, and Syria. Iraq, Libya, and Syria. And Syria is a little newer, but they got this new leader who used to be a terrorist. Trump met with him, very controversial, you know. And I know that guy's got problems, but I'm not hearing a bunch of garbage from Syria every day, okay? And remember, Assad was Ba'athist, which was the same political party as Saddam Hussein. Gaddafi was always a problem in Libya. Always. Even, I know they'll say, oh, we didn't hear from him after the 87 bombing by Reagan. Not 100% true. But as bad as the Muslim Spring went there and everything that happened, we haven't heard from Libya with any problems. What the hell? Something popped up on the screen. It was a cup of coffee. You heard that beeping? A picture of a cup of coffee came up on the screen, and it said, consider taking a break. I've been driving for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. What the hell would I take a break for? How bizarre is that? Consider taking a break. Came right up on the dashboard with a graphic of a cup of steaming hot coffee. That was very strange. Or as Adam the Woo would say, piping hot coffee. You guys know Adam the Woo? And of course, Iraq, okay, is a great example. You know, I know it was a mess with Bush and the insurgency, but now that it's stabilized, we don't hear any problems from Iraq. And prior to Bush's lies about WMDs, okay, before the Gulf War in 91 and after the Gulf War in 91, we constantly had problems with Iraq. They were stopping oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. We'd have to send a fleet to the Persian Gulf. After the Gulf War, Saddam tried to assassinate President Bush 41 in Kuwait. Clinton launched airstrikes. There was always crap going on with Iraq. Regime change happened, and we don't hear jack from Iraq anymore, right? And really, they're allies of ours. So you can't base the disastrous insurgency in Iraq and say, well, regime change doesn't work. Look at Iraq. It worked eventually, and the problems we had with the insurgency with Iraq probably was on purpose by Bush and Cheney, who wanted a prolonged conflict and not something over quick. You know, if you remember, after 9/11, when the war on terror started, Bush and Cheney had a joint press conference. They said the war on terror was going to, they didn't say it was going to be over quick. They said it's going to be a multi-year process. We expect it to last 12 years. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't believe they said that on TV at a live press conference, and no one questioned it. 12 years. All the axis of evil and all that crap. That insurgency happened on purpose. They wanted that insurgency. So, if you're MAGA, you got to get behind Trump and support what he's doing in Iran to sum everything up. Now, if you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, all right? You'll love my content, I promise you. My next stream will be in about an hour, and I'll be taking live calls during that. I'm heading to the radio station today. I have to go to the radio station today and one day next week. You can see it's a long drive to the radio station. These blind spots are so freaking bad, I can't even tell if I'm in the lane here. I'm going to show you guys this bizarre divider in this car when I get to where I'm going, between the driver and the passenger. I have never seen anything like this. It's freaking insane. Here, I'll show you now. Look at this. there's this plastic divider. It has like a handle on it between the driver and passenger seat. What the hell is that all about? Look at that. It's got a handle grip on it here. I mean, what the hell is that about? Anyone know? I have no idea what that's about. I'm on the highway, and it, you know, it looks nice here. Dashboard looks nice and everything. Not as nice as my car. Yeah, I know, this car sucks. See, there it is. See, there's the coffee. Consider taking a break, and it shows me a cup of coffee. I mean, what the hell does it keep doing that for? I thought there was something wrong with the car. I've never seen anything like that before. My car is much nicer than this piece of crap. Plus the blind spots. I mean, this is just awful. So that's that with President Trump. This is not a new war. It's a war they started. It's been going on for decades, and they've been trying to take out our president for years, right? That strike on Soleimani, they've been after him since then, and what that was, I think it was 2019. It was either 18 or 19, that Soleimani attack. They've been after him ever since. I am right now coming up to, I am at the Mar-a-Lago exit. I'm about 2-3 miles from Mar-a-Lago right now. About a 5-minute drive, really, to Mar-a-Lago from here. The president's not there, but it's still nice to drive by. Air Force One parks right here to my left. I don't know why that coffee cup keeps coming up, telling me to take a break and have coffee. What the hell? What a strange car. But I'll be taking your calls on it. And, you know, also, this thing with Tucker Carlson, I mean, you know, this is... There's an old, with that old saying, you win the battle, but you lose the war. I'm going to play that clip of Tucker Carlson with Ted Cruz. You know, Tucker Carlson, and I'll play the clip, but he seems to be on a very big self-destructive mode right now. He's going after the president on Iran in some very nasty ways. And then this thing he did with Ted Cruz, it was stupid on his part. I mean, I don't know. How foolish did he make Ted Cruz look? Did Ted Cruz, he asked Ted Cruz the population of Iran, which he didn't know, and it's around 90 million. I didn't realize it was so large myself. And it got a little heated there, and Ted Cruz lost his cool a little bit. And then Ted Cruz said something that Tucker believes was classified information that we're not supposed to know about. I'll play it, we'll talk about it, but is Tucker on self-destruct mode? What's going on here? You know, a lot of times people get so hungry to go viral or for clicks or they feel the pressure to get attention, and they do stupid crap. And so far as the news and politics and the angles he's taken, what Tucker Carlson is doing is as stupid as those idiot Instagram influencers that stand on a cliff to get a great picture and then they end up falling off or something. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, what Tucker is doing, he got that nickname. What's the nickname the president gave him? I forgot. I can't see it in the chat. I'll have to look back. Kooky? Was it Kooky Tucker he called him? You know, he's got a nickname that's really not a good one from the president. And he's alienating MAGA people, which are his core supporters. Now, I keep hearing references from Loomer and some others about conservative influencers taking Arab money. I don't know if he's one of them or not, but the angle Tucker's taken, he's going to lose people. I mean, why would he come on and do a Trivial Pursuit episode with Ted Cruz? Who the hell knows the population of Iran? It's 90 million, 92 million, something around that. That was not cool. I know a lot of people think it's funny and everything else. That was not cool. Especially the day that he got that nickname from the president, Kooky Tucker. Okay, now I'm in traffic. In a car with nothing but blind spots where the mirrors are useless. The only good that the side view mirrors are is you've got that collision thing that lights up to let you know when you can't pass, see? Other than that, as mirrors, they're useless. I've adjusted them. I've adjusted the mirrors. I've adjusted seats. I've done every freaking thing, and they're useless. Thankfully, it's got that collision light, or I wouldn't be able to freaking change lanes. I'd have to get in one lane and stay there the whole freaking way. I always hear people complain about rental cars. I've not rented a car in 25 years. And now I know why. The other times I rented cars, it's the same thing. It sucked. Okay, I got a little less than 2 miles to my exit. I'll check out the chat when I get to where I'm going. You can see why I use my own studio. It's a long drive, huh? I'm not even at the radio station yet. I'm just driving to the Starbucks. There's a Starbucks that opens up at 5 a.m. I give you a tip on Starbucks, guys. I give this every once in a while, okay? You know, I go for the espresso. I do not like coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee. I drink it solely for the caffeine effect. And if you, for some reason, if you're the first customer, the espresso machine does not dispense the espresso properly. You don't get the full caffeine effect. So you really don't want to be the first one they make. Except at the regular one I go to by my house because they know me. They take, but if you go to one where they don't know you, you don't want to be the first espresso that they make. I'll go through the chat for a minute when I park. before I go in to get my coffee. I'm a little early because I haven't been to the radio station like in 3 weeks, so I want to give myself a little more time to set up. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. Oh, this is really cool. I wouldn't mind having one of these things. Let me show you guys. One of these three-wheel kind of cars. See it? He's backing out. Yeah, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? No doors. He has no seatbelt on. Doesn't look very safe. But it looks like fun to drive. And I'm sure he has no blind spots like I have. I was thinking about getting a Can-Am, and because I thought they looked like a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a Can-Am car. Yeah. I was thinking about getting the Can-Am three-wheel motorcycle. It's a Can-Am. Look up Can-Am. America's always first. Simply, well, I was at the dealer. My car's has a recall, so it's not like a regular rental dealership. They have a rental car agency at the dealership. They were out of loaners. No, I'm America first. You know what I had said. I'll recap what I was talking. See, it's 37 minutes just to get to the Starbucks. I'm not even at the radio station yet. You see why I do the show from my studio at home so much? And that's with no traffic. When I go home after the show, oh my gosh, take me 2 hours to get home. 90 minutes if I'm lucky. Iran for years has had multiple assassination attempts on President Trump. Plus, they have these Iranian hit squads after him. This was reported a lot during the campaign last year. And I posted a bunch of stories on my X this morning. They're all from liberal sources, so you liberals can't deny them. Politico, CNN, and some other liberal sources on my X, Brian Craig Show. Iran has been trying to assassinate President Trump for years, 5-6 years, and they vow to never stop. So how is it not America first to take the people out that are trying to get to our president? How is that not America first? Exactly. The war did not begin with the Israeli attack. I believe it began when they took our embassy in 1979. But these repeated attempts on the president, that's it. It's not Mossad propaganda. President Trump has talked about this himself. And that's why I posted liberal sources like CNN with these stories and Politico on my X. So liberals can't say, oh, that's Fox, that's Breitbart. No, it's true. All right, guys, I'm going to go and get my espresso. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. My next stream, I'll be taking live calls on the program, as I do every morning. So make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell, and I'll see you in about 30 minutes or so. All right? Take care.